this one is the one that I thought Bulls fans may have been a little bit salty about. Which player will get their first All-Star nod? And to no one's surprise, Victor Wembanyama is the runaway winner of this category with 90% of the first place votes. Chet Holmgren of the Thunder, a distant second place with 30 points worth of votes compared to Wemby's 101. Some other solid candidates on this list. Mikal Bridges with his move over to the Knicks, getting significant recognition here. Jamal Murray, which I every time remember that he has not been an all-star at any point, I'm like, wow, it's crazy that he hasn't been an all-star, but he still is on that list. You got Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Buddy Hield, Jaime Jaquez Jr. getting at least one vote worth of love, as well as Alperen Şengün, the Houston Rockets. No Coby White. 0 votes for Coby White, and who will be a first-time All-Star this year. I know Bulls fans, at least some, not only hope for that, but see that as a very realistic possibility coming off of his near Most Improved Player season. And I don't think it's necessarily crazy to want that and to hope and even feel that it's possible, GOAT. But and I'm not trying to raid on anybody's parade. I also like when you just think about how hard it is to be an All-Star in this league, and the fact that if you're a fringe All-Star candidate as far as talent is concerned, as far as production on the court stats-wise is concerned, what usually puts you over the hump as maybe a reserve All-Star is the fact that your team's winning and or you're in a market that has a lot of hype around it, and you are a player that has a lot of hype around you and what you're doing. And I know that there are all those Coby stands out there in Bulls Nation. I have become one. I was late to the party, but I love Coby, and I'm rooting for him this season. But when I saw his name omitted from that list, I was like, yeah, checks out. And from my perspective, checks out.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of these names just don't belong here. Like Mikal Bridges is going to a team where he's not going to have the same kind of usage. He's not going to be able to score as much. And, he's probably going to be like their third in line, I think, for All-Star votes after, Brunson, obviously, and then any of probably Randall, but they've got a bunch of guys. Jamal Murray, I think, obviously is an All-Star caliber player, but he's not playing his best basketball. He was injured. He was terrible this year in the Olympics. He's getting older. I don't really see him having a breakout. I mean, maybe he snaps out of it and gets back to that level, but I think the narrative of him getting an All-Star and being of that level has kind of passed him by at this point. Buddy Hield, what is he doing on this list? That doesn't make any sense. Jaime Jaquez, fine, but he's not somebody I would think of as a guy who's going to ascend to that level. I think he's really kind of a solid all-around role player.
Yeah, he's a Swiss Army knife player. You rarely see Swiss Army knife players get All-Star appearances.
Yeah, I think Wemby, Holmgren, Cade, Mobley, and Şengün make sense. Those are the guys that I think still have room to grow and improve. And I think that's really what you're looking at when you're thinking about this award is who's got a chance to be much better? Who's got a chance to gobble up more usage so that their numbers look a lot better? And I think Coby has that chance. I also think that this year in a lot of ways is going to be a lot harder for him because he's going to be, the number one option that teams are looking to shut down. I think not having DeRozan next to him to be able to take pressure off of him is going to make things harder. I'm not saying that's making him worse or anything like that, but it's just, I think, going to impact him. He already played a career high in minutes last year. I just don't see a lot of avenues for him to put up much bigger numbers. And that doesn't mean he's not getting better. But I think when we're talking about All-Stars, that's really what you're talking about. Is who's putting up big numbers on winning teams. And I don't think the Bulls are going to be a winning team. And I also don't think that Coby's going to have a chance to score 25 a night. If that's wrong, then great, because that means Coby's playing out of his mind. But I just think that this year in some ways is going to be a little bit harder for him. And he may end up around the same level of production or maybe a little bit higher. But there's a lot of good guards in the East. And I think it's going to be tough for him to break through, especially if the team is not great. So I also wonder, what if Zach is just back to who Zach is? Then is he the main guy on this team? And is he the one that's getting kind of All-Star type buzz when that's who he was last time he was out there? So I just don't think even though DeRozan is gone, I don't think this becomes Coby's team where he's getting 35% usage. I think he's going to be in a similar role. You bring in Josh Giddey, who's going to have the ball in his hands. you lose out on the opportunity to have somebody creating good offense for you. Again, I'm not saying Coby's bad. I think he's really good. I think he has potential, and I think he will improve. But I just don't know that he's going to put up like these massive numbers that are going to be impossible to turn down when the team is as bad as we expect it to be.
Right. To that end, Fish and Old Man Memes kind of agreeing in the comments. Fish saying Coby is in Zach's past world now. Won't get an all-star nod even if he goes crazy because of the losses. And we see, and it took a damn impressive statistical season from Zach to finally get that in 2021, his first all-star appearance, when the Bulls were a middling team. They made the Vooch trade midseason, but still weren't very good. Like that was his almost 50-40-90 season where he put up 25-5-5. That is an all-star season. And he got there despite being on a bad team. Old Man Meme saying 100% because of how the team is expected to be, but let's let this fuel Coby.
We all silly like the mayor.